If you had to say what's one of the most pressing challenges in the roles that you play, what would that be that keeps you awake at night sometimes?
I think many times people ask whether doing angioplasty is stressful
Yeah.
than investments. To me, probably angioplasty is far more simpler than making a decision to invest.
Wow.
You are betting your 30 years or 40 years of knowledge onto an idea which will take off actually. To me, that is the most stressful. Is the bet you are making the right bet or not? You do a lot of due diligence and you say that. And every month, every quarter, you see how the child is growing. And if it's growing fine, you feel happy, but otherwise, so that is the real nagging fear. Are you making the real bets?
Yeah.
It's not day-to-day operations, hiring may go wrong sometimes, the regulatory approvals may go a little wrong, but are you making the right bets with your knowledge and wisdom? That's where I think, to me, that's the most anxious and stressful part.
I wouldn't call it a stress, but I think certainly every day there is always that sense of excitement and curiosity, both, whether as a cause of stress or to make sure that things are on the right track, is the fact that to make sure that as an entrepreneur there are so many moving parts and there are so many things that can get you distracted. And I think as an outsider, that's one of the least value additions that one can do to make sure that execution focus continues to be there. That's very easily said than done. Because there are just too many things, too many tactical things, too many strategic things, and so on and so forth. So I think that's one of the challenge, I would say exciting challenge that, day in and day out, at least every morning, I start my day with, and probably every night as well.
Yeah, no, just to add to that, I think saying that there's no stress is kind of a lie. I think there is stress. Raising money at the right time is very, very necessary. I think more important is that they have to be either number one or number two in a category where they're playing. That becomes extremely important as well. But it all boils down to, I think, the leadership and the understanding, right? The alignment between the investors and the entrepreneur. Because if an entrepreneur wants to run it in a particular way and if there's alignment, there's less stress. But if there's no alignment, I think you are pulling the entrepreneur in a very different direction, and that's not good for the company, good for the entrepreneur, and good for the investor. So kind of really in a fast-paced world, it's not about what you do. I mean, your competition may be undoing what you're doing entirely, right? So, and certain, global moves or certain local moves, especially when we are talking about betting on products that are going to go global, what a big Facebook or Google or Amazon does has implications. Then you may look incremental. You're not completely disruptive, right? I mean, they have billions of dollars of cash and, they have very bright engineers and they have the brand. So very, very clearly, I think it's at two levels. I think one level is the alignment level. I think we try and achieve that alignment. In the end, it's an entrepreneur's company, right? And then they will decide. I think others can give inputs and coach them and tell them what's going on, because you have the luxury of listening to many bright entrepreneurs or going and talking to many people. And hence you can share your knowledge so that they can use those insights and arrive at decisions on their own. So that alignment piece is one that causes a little bit of stress. The other piece is definitely when you compare yourself with respect to the rest of the landscape and where you are at, right? You got to be that either one or two, and you got to be raising money at the right time, and you got to be making the right noises. Otherwise, will you be invited to the party, right? When the party happens, right?
I think, Satish, you don't have to worry about that.